Quick question. If you had a funny power, what would it be?
It would obviously be cupcake making.
You have now joined the 8 Couple Podcast Show. Let me introduce our hosts, Laura and Xavier.
Hello, everyone. This is Laura here.
And this is Xavier.
And today we also have our daughter again.
Hi, guys.
This is Alley Cat. Yeah, so,
well, you
Festival
guys...
Kitty.
Oh, well, for a future project, Festival Kitty, not what we're going to explain right now, and definitely not anywhere on the list of announcements that we have. So, I have been working on a project. Just want to let everybody know, get ahead of this. It was It Couple Part 2. Sorry, not It Couple. E-Couple Part 2. E-Couple Part 2, where we actually talk with other people and friends of mine around the topic of e-couples that are out there and about, and getting some stories together. We are still working on editing that, but I think it's going to be a very special episode, and it should be coming out next Monday. And we also have Laura. She is working slowly towards getting onto Twitch.
Yep.
And how has the experience been so far? Of just, what do you see from the outside, or what have you done so far? Just to kind of give them a quick update.
Well, let's see. I created my Twitch channel. I created my Discord channel around the Twitch name channel, and I started trying to researching games that I might want to start with. I'm also trying to figure out like what time frame I should do it at, because it's most people I think do theirs later at night, but that's not really a good time for me to do it because I will be using your computer since that's the best computer to run those kind of things on.
Yeah,
and that's when you're on there. So, and most likely I think I'll either do it really early morning, like before commuters go off to commute, or I'll end up doing it in the like lunch, early lunch hour kind of thing, something. So we'll see.
All right. And I gave this one to you, so let's see what you say there, Alley Cat. You want to say hello to your friends you play for when you play games?
Hi, if you're watching, it's
listening.
Me. Whatever. If you play Roblox and Kitty Kid Meow Purr, that's me.
That's an interesting name.
Okay, yeah.
I like cats. Okay, that's why my picture is a cat.
All right.
Okay.
Kitty Cat Meow Purr.
Cutie kitten.
Cutie
Meow
kitten.
Oh,
Meow.
excuse me for not pronouncing the name of Cutie Cat Meow Poo correctly.
Oh my god! Cutie kitten.
Moving on.
Meow purr.
Anyhow,
Yeah,
so
moving
today's episode is going to be about a movie we recently saw as a family. What was that?
SHAZAM!
Oh,
Right. Stop
and all of a sudden
screaming
you
on the
became an adult.
Yes.
SHAZAM!
Now, this was one of the first and few movies I've seen where Alley Cat has gone out of her way and said that this was, the really good movie, the best movie ever.
Yeah, she said this is her most favorite superhero movie now ever. It beat out Black Panther, which was the reigning champion.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
What did it for you? What made this movie so good?
He was hilarious!
Stop screaming.
Yes,
He was funny.
Oh,
and most of the other ones aren't that funny. They're usually just serious and stuff. And I don't like serious. I like them being silly and
Black
goofy.
Panther was definitely along the serious line, which, he was cool, but he was a serious dude.
Yes.
So, but she really...
never freeze.
I don't know. Either way, so Shazam was definitely interesting. I am one of those people that I don't necessarily see comedy movies or anything like that, or laugh a lot during them. I have a very specific comedian bone, just one, and it's extremely specific.
This one made you laugh, man.
Yes, I did laugh a couple times during it. There were a few times where I was cringing, going oh my god, could I just fast forward through this part?
There were a few jokes that I think went a little too, they kept doing it over and over and over again. Now, I'm not trying to critique the movie. I'm actually glad that the DC franchise has kind of, as this is going straight over your head, but as the DC franchise has gone over,
it's been notoriously serious.
Exactly, and that may have
and dark.
Yeah,
this one it wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean, it had the villain, and he was like a bit kind of odd and goofy.
He was kind of funny sometimes.
Yeah,
I think he was a really solid villain. I mean, he was
flawed, but still believable that he thought this was okay.
Yeah, it was like they took one of DC's normal villains and brought him into a cartoon. That's what.
Plus, I think the weirdest part for me was the fact that usually you don't see the villain when they're a kid, so that kind of like makes you almost sympathize with him more because it's like you saw what he went through as a kid, and if you go through those kind of traumatizing-ish kind of thingies as a kid, it changes you as an adult, whether for the better or worse, and obviously him was for the worse.
So in the movie, I'm gonna ask Alley Cat this question. Are you ready for a hard-hitting question?
Okay.
All right. In the movie, did Shazam do all the right things?
No, definitely a no.
What did he do wrong? I mean, come on, he's a superhero. He's there to save the day, and that's all he did, right? So he didn't do anything wrong. But what did he do wrong?
He ran away from his foster parent over and over and over again.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna go a different direction though. So, did he do anything in a store by chance?
Yes.
Okay, we're not going to get details from Alley Cat on this one. There was I guess like if you were Shazam, you had the powers.
Like the whole thing of like the old dude that was giving out his powers and stuff. Like he said he was looking for a pure soul and all that. Like, but I guess he didn't necessarily say good.
Exactly. Yeah, he just looking for a pure-hearted soul because that's what he would need for his lineage and kind of that. And I kind of like that. There's no pure people here. Yeah. There's just people. But I'm not trying to give it away. What do you think? We'll leave it open-ended. Alley Cat, go for it. Tell me what should people look for in this movie? Why should you watch it? Why should your friends watch it?
Because it's funny and I bet it's gonna make you laugh. And if you haven't laughed in days, you should watch it. I have no reason. I just like laughter.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like while I was watching it, I was thinking a lot about the more recent Jumanji movie that came out with The Rock and what are those other people's names?
The other people's names.
Yeah. Okay. So Jack Black.
Blinky Games.
And I remember that one now. Anyhow, so yeah, when that movie that came out, like it was hilarious watching what was kid, actors to start with, and then all of a sudden they were in a game where they were adults. So the adult actors and actresses were having to act like they were also kids, and so I think it like brought on this hilarious kind of thing. And this one kind of did that too, but in a different way, it brought it to kind of a next level, I feel, because Shazam, yes, was, whether he was in his adult looking superhero form or in his normal kid form,
still the same self.
And they were doing a lot of jumping back and forth. So you have two actors that are trying to play the same character, but they look different. They're two different people, but they have to it has to be believable that when you're seeing the kid and when you're seeing the Shazam adult guy, that they're the same person.
Yeah, just want to point out Jack Black's character, the teenage girl.
Back to Jumanji.
Oh my goodness, just nailed it. As far as
that's a completely now you're jumping not only age but genders.
Exactly. You're
he was definitely the best of all.
Body types aren't similar. So he's some
there's
fit guy.
2 things missing and 3 things added.
Yeah, a really good scenario. I just wanted to point that out. One question I wanted to get to. Okay, for some reason, you get pulled out. Let's say you were in the car and going to school, and all of a sudden you disappear, and now you're going to get Shazam's powers. Talking to Alley Cat here. What is the first thing you would do? You don't have a supervillain. You're just going to do something fun. What is the first fun thing you're going to do?
Go somewhere safe that if I destroy something, it won't harm anybody in the environment or anything.
Oh, so when you're testing out your powers, you would go somewhere where there aren't people around.
So the first thing you're going to do is test your powers.
Yeah. in a very safe zone, like where it's like plain area.
All right, so you're flying to the moon.
You could go to like the desert or something, you know? I mean, that's where they like drop bombs. So,
so you need to bring a GPS on the way so you know how to get back home.
Right?
Sorry, this is the dad in me has to make sure that she's picking a really good safe area and knows how to return back.
Yeah, you know, that is the funny thing. Like with superheroes, you see them going all around. Like, how do they just know how to get back? Do they have like, I mean, at least with Iron Man, you know, he's got a machine in there.
A GPS.
You know, like signal. It's definitely telling him where to go. But everybody else, like.
Yeah, you can move people like 2 blocks away and they're totally lost. They have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a city you don't know, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Alley Cat? You're raising your hand. So.
Well, from SHAZAM, when he was from SHAZAM. From SHAZAM, he was charging phones. I could just bring my phone as to bring me back home and stuff.
Yeah, but where in Shazam's outfit are you putting a phone?
You think about it, they're always wearing just spandex.
Right?
I could bring some sewing and just go...
Sewing? Sewing.
I'm bringing some sewing, you get sued. You get sued.
Some sewing.
You know what, think about it.
I wonder if you can sew into the thing that is bulletproof.
I want to stick into the... Yeah, I guess that's a good one. But I was thinking, like, imagine you being a superhero that would fly to the supervillage and you would try to sue them. Put that woman down or I'm going to sue you.
Honestly, like, every time I watch a superhero movie and they're like, you know, buildings falling and cars crashing and I'm going like, who's paying for all this?
Alarms.
That's my phone. It's time for Alley Cat to go to bed.
Staying up for the show. How dare you?
That's a school night alarm, and tomorrow's actually not a school night.
All right, here's a dangerous question for Alley Cat. Are you ready for this?
Okay, that sounds... okay.
Okay, the reason why she's repeating is because, you know, she doesn't quite understand how a microphone works and that you do not need to yell at the microphone.
And she's a very dramatic child, if you haven't been able to tell, so she's moving further away.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the question. What's the first wrong thing you think you would do with superpowers?
Probably try flying.
Yeah, there we go.
Probably try flying and accidentally run into a car.
Oh, yeah, that would be a very interesting phone call to get back. Okay, so your daughter has become a superhero and she's made about, you know, $25,000 in
yeah, there is definitely quite a lot of things that they did that, you know, honestly, like, I'm kind of glad that they showed it. And it's not only a 14-year-old kid that becomes an adult that would, you know, do that sort of thing. Like, man, normal people, if they all of a sudden had these powers.
Oh, yes.
Like, yeah, they would do a lot of that kind of stuff, too. Although I was hilarious. Like, there was a couple things that I called. And when they went and got the beer and they took a swig of it, I was like, they were going to spit that out. And sure enough. Ew, this is gross.
Like, oh, why do everybody wants this? This makes no sense.
You know, the funny thing is, like, yeah, no, I mean, I remember my very first taste of beer, and I don't like beer to this day at all. Like, it's so gross.
It's a sad truth. It's a very sad truth. I do enjoy beer. So what is the first thing you would do once you got Shazam powers? And I'm talking to Laura here.
Oh,
yeah.
The first thing that I would do...
I have an idea already.
I would call you. No,
that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to hurt anybody, so I'm going to stay right here and you come get me.
She would look for the most responsible reaction. Like, okay, I've just received powers. I need to come up with a game plan.
Right? I would the very first thing I would probably do is like get a book and be like, okay.
Has someone written a book about like, okay, so you've gained superpowers.
Right, yeah. I know. I would just so look that up. I would Google it. What do I do?
So someone write that book. So you gain superpowers.
I'm pretty sure they probably have it, but it's probably like more of like a spoof kind of thing.
I know. I will probably put a book out like that with my horrible writing skills. First thing I would do. One, yes, I think Alley Cat is on point about finding out what your powers are first. Yeah. Just because you might want to know what your limits are. So I'd bring my phone with the GPS attached to it. Find a nice safe safe place that I can go test out my powers. And then after I find out my powers,
use it to save the day.
I'm not sure how much day saving I would do. I'm just gonna be honest. But
night saving.
But yeah, I would probably spend some time and save a lot of money on gas.
I don't know.
By not leading my car anymore.
Like, I feel like a lot of times when you watch these, like the superhero movies and stuff, and they go out and they're saving people, and I mean, honestly, like I would hate that. Not the saving people part, but you've got all these people who are like on the lookout for you and taking pictures and videoing you wherever you go, and anything that you might possibly do wrong, it's like, you get beat up for it. And even the things that you do right, you get beat up for it. There are people who love you, people who hate you, and it's like, oh no, I know introvert in me, like that would, I swear, like
you would get so much attention, and then all the superheroes always try to hide their identity.
Well, not all of them.
You're right, but this is the new age.
Some of them do it really poorly. Like, I mean, Superman and Clark. Seriously?
Face recognition software. He seems to fly around a certain area.
Every time I see that, and they're like, "Oh, who are you?" Oh, like seriously, like, dude, he looks exactly the same.
I mean, and
just different clothes, literally.
Exactly.
Glasses
could you just
are
imagine?
not a disguise.
And there was like an area, of course, with a lot of different movies that show you how social media is attached to it a little bit. Here's what I think that it will be hard to find your identity. Like the first day you go out, you save the day, you come back home. The next day, I totally expect like a press conference to be like at your door.
Right?
Like, yeah. Okay, so we found you. Yeah.
I mean, all they have to do is follow your, find your phone and, especially like in Shazam, they were uploading videos. And I'm like, how did somebody not find out who was uploading those videos and being like, dude, hey?
Have you seen there's this show on YouTube called Game Theory, and his fan base, they do a really good job of breaking down things even before he does for his shows. I can just imagine if you have any people that's like that. I mean, granted, we don't even know the full power of the It couples, the people that watch us, but it wouldn't be too hard to find out, who the superhero is, or you put things and pieces together. It will be the next thing to do. So, Alley Cat, do you have any questions or what we think about certain things about Shazam?
Well, I have one that I only been thinking about until you told me that we were doing a podcast.
Until?
Okay,
yep.
What is it?
Why would you what would you say if he asked you to get his power? What would you say?
What would I say? Oh.
Starting with Xavier.
All right, so here's exactly what Xavier would say. Thanks.
/ you.
I would say thank you. I will totally.
He's asking you.
Yeah, he's asking me. Will you take my powers? Sure, I'll take those powers. Anything I should look out for, or should I be aware of anything? No, you just get powers. Great. Or there's a really big bad guy. I couldn't quite beat him. Could you do that? You know what? I'll give it a shot. I'll figure it out. I mean, sure.
I'd ask for a guidebook.
But
especially since like the dude disintegrated. Like, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen to the person once they give you your powers. So it's like, all right, tell me everything you know about your powers, and then we can do this transfer thing.
Exactly. Let me get a contract signed, a notary. We need to get a notary for this. I want to make sure we get this in order. Here's something else I think that will be very interesting is
like, how long am I gonna live? Does this extend my life or shorten it?
Like in a way, like you have an idea of what
the dude said he was a wizard. Like, I'm not a wizard. Like,
well, step one. So what are your powers and what am I getting? And then that could be a good question. Like, sure, but what is your powers? Do I get the power to be an old man? I mean, because that's going to happen regardless. And another thing I was thinking about with the way his powers work, since if Alley Cat got the powers, she would become a full-on, her best self, fully fit adult. Would I get younger? Because if that happened to me, I would never, ever not be Shazam. That would just be my new identity for the rest of my
You'd
days.
just be a little... You would be actually younger, I think. Not older.
Oh, wait, you think my best self was like 8 years old or something?
She's like going way down.
Right. Like
you're gonna be shorter too, apparently.
And after 8, everything just went downhill. I just my back started hurting and
I don't get it.
Okay.
That's because you're still only 9.
Laura, formerly put us in Discord as Laura the Wholesome. What is something wrong that you would do as a superhero?
Wrong?
Yes.
Like on purpose?
Yes.
Because there are things that you can accidentally do wrong.
Stop trying to define what's wrong in here. This just give us the dirty. What is something
You're talking to the person who like follows rules even when they don't necessarily make sense.
Okay, I can redirect. Okay, Alley Cat, what is something that is wrong that your mom would do?
Probably clean somebody's dishes that's not even their house.
Oh my god, that's my superpower. I want that superpower now. Forget charging phones. I want the clean dishes superpower.
Okay, there's a practical use. You're going into a restaurant like, oh my goodness, I'm worried about the safety of this place. So you hurry up and clean up the kitchen before your food is served. Go in there like, all of a sudden we're seem to be more efficient. We'll be done in just a second. Oh my goodness, we have plenty of plates. Thank you, Shazam. Laura, thank you for saving the day. All right. So let's get around to let's see. Can we find some bad things about this movie?
Well, yeah. There's bad things about every movie.
All right. Before we get into our description, let's hear from you, who's making so much background noise. I don't know what to do with it. Alley Cat. What is something this movie didn't have, needed to have? Your turn.
What do you think was bad about it?
The head eating and the head slicing and the killing people.
I don't remember any of that.
Okay. How about when the bad guy?
Don't put too much out there. We don't want to get spoilers.
The bad guy went to his father.
I said no spoilers.
That's all. I just said it's not like.
Yes, it's part of the movie that people don't know about yet.
Like I do kind of feel like that whole scene was a little like.
It seemed separate from it seemed like that was the point.
There was a couple of scenes where it was like, why? I mean, I really don't need to know what happened, but okay, fine.
Yeah, exposition. Exactly, and then a lot of it with the bad guy. So sorry to cut Alley Cat off, but I really didn't want her to spoil certain portions of that. But that's okay. That's okay. But what do you think about the action? Or was there some parts you thought were boring? Certain talking when they were talking about it.
Probably. I had to say what was boring. It would be the part they were just standing there doing.
Okay, who was standing there and who was doing nothing?
When they transferred powers, they were just talking and standing there, not doing anything.
Okay.
I do feel like, for me, like one of the things that was a little, long, I guess. Like I liked the whole foster home scenario that went on. I really enjoyed that. But I do feel like there was a lot of this, with the whole going to his birth mother and stuff. It was all they were doing was trying to create a reason why this kid was messed up or whatever.
Yeah, it seemed kind of jammed in there.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that part of it all that much. I would have rather have seen more of interaction between him and his foster siblings, rather than this whole hunt for his birth mother.
Yeah, and a lot of these scenes in here, just kids are going, oh no, these aren't big portions of the movie. We're definitely not spoiling it for you. I mean, you can see a lot of this already kind of going on. For me, the part that probably really dragged for me, and I have this complaint with a lot of DC films. I've got a lot of people who didn't like the fact that I said that Captain Marvel, I saw that as a better movie than Aquaman. I totally understand. I don't really put the character in the.
I mean, it's hard to compare them because they're completely different universes done in a completely different way.
Yes, and actually, part of my critique is not if you're saying that Aquaman is totally a better character.
Well, yeah,
I agree.
If you compare Aquaman to the other DC movies, it was better. You know, if you compare Captain Marvel to the other Marvel movies, it wasn't better.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm talking about like the actual character and how they were portrayed. Like Aquaman has a character. I think like one thing I was talking to, Evangeline about this. She said this once, and I was saying that like, you know, one easy character test. You're working on a character. Here's the question: your character walks into a bar. What happens? If you have a character, it writes itself. Joker walks into a bar. Well, there's not too many people walking out of the bar. Batman walks.
Be running.
Yeah, exactly. Batman walks into a bar. All the criminals are all captured up and tied up or something like that. But if you say like, I'm just going to throw another character in there. Wonder Woman walks into a bar. You're not quite sure how to write the rest of that. If Captain Marvel walks to a bar, not sure how the rest of that's going to happen.
They did go to a bar.
Yeah.
She blew up the jukebox.
Well, yes. Well, I don't like anybody, but you can read that from her character. If you get what I'm saying. Now, if Aquaman walks to a bar,
he's drinking.
Exactly.
They had a scene in that movie too.
If Shazam walks into a bar.
He's not drinking because he doesn't like beer.
I don't know. You expect some kind of kid reaction, like, "Oh no, this is whatever. Oh, I'll try that drink," or are you just acting like a kid in a bar in a place not normally? Oh yeah, I'm totally an adult. Yeah. So like and I think that as far as characters, very well done. But to bring everything together for that critique, I was saying that I rated her higher because the movie itself, around it, the way they built the story, the background, a lot of back and forth and flashbacks. Same thing with Aquaman. Executed better, as well as 3D and a lot of art stuff. This movie, I think it really did a lot of the movie parts better. It tied a lot of knots. I
was watching like a lot of the CGI while they were doing the whole flying and floating and things like that, and I was like, they did a really good job. Like, you couldn't really tell that those things were happening and stuff.
Yeah,
and whereas like Aquaman, just like everything above water, great, but man, the moment they went into water, it was like, oh my god!
You could tell that's a CGI body.
Yeah, it was just so bad.
There was one point where he did the joke where he's like stiff as his armpit and he coughs back and it looks so CGI. Meanwhile, you have let's say you have the lady with the flying hair, burning up, fire, and everything around it. There's no comparison. The one is clearly better than the other. This one, this guy is the kid is getting blown through buildings, joking and laughing, whatever, and you're kind of buying into it. That's the magic of really good CGI. Yeah. Now I know the CGI portion is not most entertaining to our local 9-year-old here. Yeah. But as far as how this movie looked, let's compare this to what's another movie you've seen, Black Panther. How does that movie look and compare to this movie?
It's been a while since you've seen Black Panther, though.
She may have an opinion on it.
You choose
another one.
Why don't you choose another one?
Zootopia.
It's not a superhero.
Well, I think the bunny was very much a superhero.
How about the Infinity Wars one where you cried?
Oh yeah,
we saw that one not that long ago. Well, it's been a while now.
Maybe saying where she cried, just kind of those.
Certainly a lot closer than Black Panther.
Thanks for making me embarrassed.
What?
You.
I teared up too. And when Spider-Man, that got me. I was like, no, he's a kid. Wow, really loud. Anyhow, you're going to blow everybody's ears off. You need to put like a headphone warning.
Yeah.
Headphone warning.
Anyhow, so comparing Infinity War, it's how it looked, to Shazam and how it looked. What do you think? Actually, we saw Aquaman recently with her too. So
okay, so there we go. Aquaman comparison. And go.
Well, obviously, one looks more realistic than the other.
Which one's that?
Aquaman.
Aquaman looked better?
No, Aquaman looked more realistic. I did not say it looked better.
Oh, okay.
You thought Aquaman looked more realistic? Okay, why?
Well, okay.
Because they actually used people. The other people had a little bit more animation. Little.
Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but we're going to just say that you have your opinion and you're entitled to it.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to make this shorter. As you can tell, Alley Cat needs to get some rest.
I had a question.
Oh, okay. What's your question?
Mm-hmm. What if Shazam and there was different types of element in it, what element would you choose?
What kind of elements would I choose? That's a very interesting question. Okay.
One element.
One element that I would put in there.
Earth, water, wind.
Okay, not the element I was thinking you were going
Water.
with there.
Fire.
And lava.
Well, that would be part of fire.
Fire, wouldn't
No,
it?
fire is different than lava.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
We're not going to argue with this with a 9-year-old. Okay, so which elemental do you want to?
Or lightning.
Mind control.
It's not an element.
She's
That's a
talking about
power.
like an earth element.
Okay.
That's a power, not an element.
Okay, a funny one that you can put in there. Let's say earth element.
Okay, how about you, Mom?
Which element would I put in?
I don't know where she's going with this question. Like we're going with it. All right, so earth element is involved.
I mean, I guess water. Since he already has the lightning one, it would be a good thing for him to have that. So he can put out fire.
So Shazam is getting these elements.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Actually, I think earth element will work really well in New York. Sorry for all your subway systems there, but
Ice.
That's the water.
Well, it's kind of different. Ice.
Yeah, but ice is just water frozen.
we will have a discussion on powers maybe in the future on it.
You know-
but let's get to wrapping this up. So I'm gonna say, how did I do a scoring? I know my scoring system last time was simply doing a thumbs up or 2 thumbs up situation.
Yeah.
This is a good movie. I highly suggest it. I give it 2 thumbs up.
I get 1,000.
You don't have that many thumbs.
How many thumbs do you have?
1,000.
2. So she's giving it 2 thumbs up. Yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up too.
Actually, 10.
Yeah.
10. I give it 10 because I have 10 fingers.
I definitely say it's worth the money. Bring someone that enjoys fun. This is not a drama. I wouldn't suggest someone who likes drama-filled movies. This is definitely not that for you. But there'll be some shocking moments in there for children. Well,
Yeah, no romance or anything like that. It's just a superhero movie and with kids and funny and that sort of stuff. So
and we ever have a residential 9-year-old that definitely gets her
kid approved.
Exactly. So anyway, let's go ahead and end this off on a high note. Thank you so much for listening. We have a couple more materials coming out soon, already recorded, so we're actually ahead of schedule.
Yep.
Which is lovely. I'm going to be working on that in the E-Couple Part 2, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yep.
Take it easy.
See ya.
Bye.